Okay, for this video, I'm going to talk about PHP function. I think this topic is not an alien to you because majority of the programming language that you learn, such as C programming or maybe you learn Java programming, there's already have a function as a topic in the previous lecture or in the previous courses that you already took. So PHP don't have any much different with the others except for the syntax. So if you're looking into PHP function, they have two values is how to create function and how to call the function, means that how to execute the function. If you're looking into function, it's almost similar with other programming language, right? There are more than 700 built-in function in PHP. Okay, we're looking into these two parts. Number one, creating and calling. Okay, there are only two parts. Okay, let's start with creating and calling PHP function, right? What you have to do, if you're looking into the blue box here, syntax, define PHP function and put the name of the function and put the code inside the function. And at the end of the part of your function, you can just write message. This refer to the name of the functions. Okay, so let's see some few example. So this is for function with parameters. We have function names. Don't forget this function name. Parameter 1, parameter 2. So this normally refer to the input data. Let's say number 1, number 2, or variables 1, variables 2. You can mention in variables as well. And then we have a code to execute. Okay, this is the basic things of PHP function with parameter. Next, if you're looking into PHP function with return value is something that will trigger the end of the code. Means that if you have inside the loop, you meet the return value, it will go out from the code, from the loop. Okay, so if you're looking into returning value, something the code maybe like in this blue box, function add function. This is the name of the functions. Number 1, variable number 1, variable number 2, and then we put some operators. Okay, sum equivalent to variable num1 plus variable number 2, num2, and then we return sum. So what you're going to get here, the value is calculated and returned into the variables. Okay, so when you put the printing things, echo 10 plus 20, this is what we call a string value, and then you put the return value of that function. So when we meet the return value, it will go straight away to the return value of the function. In this case, add function 10 and 20 will give you something operationals, okay, some value. Okay, that's the things that I want to highlight. If you're looking into the source code, we have here about 8b, okay, 8b, lesson 8b, and then if you're looking into the outcome of the lesson 8b, you see, writing function with parameters. Okay, we have here add function, number 1, number 2, and then we have this particular things is, I'm not sure whether this is 8e, okay. Looking into, okay, 8b, the same code and the outcome, you can see they will give you sum of two numbers is 30. It is because I put here 10 and 20. If I change these to different numbers, let's say 20 and 20, and then I run it, okay, you can see the numbers change to 40 because the value of the function has been change. Okay, so if you're looking into the 8c, this is something on return value, something different. You have a return value here, you just put the return sum and then they will give you a different outcome, almost same actually. 8c, then got not this one. Let's see. Okay. So this is the one, echo 10 plus 20, add function 10, 20. So that's refer to this function. So we just use echo and then we trigger add functions. So when you change this value, it becomes something else. Let's say I put 100, okay, and then it will change to the additional numbers of 100 plus 20. Okay, that one is for what we call function. Okay, basically function is almost same like the others programming language. Now, the next topic will be PHP form and user input. This is a more practical in terms of when you are dealing with a lot of information. Normally, you want to get some information from the user, you need a form, okay? So this is for you to create a form, okay? We call it form handling in PHP. Right, so in this phase, if you're looking into PHP form handling, they can normally divide it into form methods, okay? This is the code for form. Normally you can write in PHP or maybe in HTML, okay? But in HTML, you have to remember that PHP also enable HTML inside their code. So it means that you can create 100% HTML, but you save as PHP. You can do that, all right? Or you can combine PHP code with HTML. Doesn't have any problem. Okay, passing variable with form, this is the way. Input form, okay. Most of the final exam question really concerned about this topic. We want students to understand how to create a form, okay. There will be a very basic need for web developer or full stack developer. Okay. So if looking into the next one, you can see, okay, after that you can see there are two things in form handling. Number one is method and actions, okay. If you look into this particular thing, action is used to enter URL where the form is submitted. So it means that if you have a data, you fill in a form and you know where to submit, okay. So in real world, you have a form and you submit. Let's say you submit to the faculty or submit to the school will process your data, right? The school will process your form, let's say admission form. Similar to programming, so when you allow user to enter the data, you as a developer going to bring that form into someone else, okay? Give it to someone else who may be person in charge. So in programming, we give it to the file of PHP. The file of PHP normally is a processing file, okay? So you look here, it is used to enter the URL where the form is submitted, okay? Means that the form that can be submitted, normally submit to file name .php, something like processing.php, like that. It will be the PHP file that you want to handle the input, okay? Method normally have two styles, okay? Let's say in real world, you can ask your friend to submit to you, okay? Or maybe you can send it yourself. So which one is much more secure? Of course, number two will be secure because you are the one who submit the form to the person in charge. But if you ask your friend to do for you, okay, maybe you use third-party software and your information that you're going to send it to the person in charge already leak or not secure. So that refers to what we call a GET, not secure one. But for the post one, it will be more secure. So there are two methods in form handling. Okay, next we look into next slide, PHP form handling. Okay, in order to make use of these two methods, okay, post and get, you have to have a different web variables. This is what we call a web variable, or maybe yeah, it's a web variables. Okay, this is the first web variable. You cannot change into different words. $, underscore post, and you can change this field name. Or if you go for get method, you have to use $, underscore get, followed by field name. Okay, this is the way. Then this is an example of form in HTML. Normally we create a form in HTML because HTML also can combine with CSS, can combine with many other kind of interaction like JavaScript, things, or can also accept JSON, things like that. So if you have a form, they will look like this. Start with form tag, followed by the name, action, and then welcome 01 PHP. Okay, this is the, when you submit form, all the information in the form, let's say this is information in the form, will go to this particular file name. And the file name is the one who handle the data. Welcome 01 PHP is the one that going to handle the data and organize the data and give to the other step. All right. So that's the concept of the form. Okay. Right. If you're looking into this part, the first line form name, you have here is post method. We are using post method. Now this is an zooming to you. Okay, there are $_post variables. When a user fill out the form and click the submit button, the form data is sent for processing to a file named welcome01.php. So that's the way, right? Okay. Then let's say you put the data welcome echo post name. Okay. Normally, if you allow user to enter the name, let's say I give you an example, you enter Anita, and then your email is anita@utm.my. Okay, and then you get the output of the result. Okay. Next, if you're looking into understanding this, you know that in HTML, if you have input tag, you have input type, text form, text field, sorry. Then you put the name like this, and then you what we call return the value. Okay, this is actually in the class. I want to you rewrite the code, but for MCO we don't have any class. We only have online class and asynchronous style. Okay, will help you a lot as well in terms of internet bandwidth. Okay. So if you go next, after that, you can see the information will go to welcome.01php. And then inside this welcome01.php, this is the source code of welcome01.php. All right, so that's the way how it goes. Okay. Next one will be underscore get variables, almost the same. Okay, what is the change is just a method. Okay, you change this to get. Right? That reflects to underscore get variables. Okay, what is the difference between post and get? Okay, I want you to find out and try to get it in Google and understand them clearly, because post is much more secure because you cannot see the input data on the browser. But if you are using underscore get or get method, the browser will visible what you have entered. Okay. So in real world, if you're looking into something like, just want to show to you related with get method. Okay, let's say you are using Google, right? When you're using Google, let's say you type School of Computing, enter them. Can you see that? This is the variable that used by the Google. School plus computing, right? This is get method. But if you didn't use get method, you use post method, this will be definitely look like this. Okay, more secure. All right. So that's the difference between get method and post method. All right. I want you to study more about it yourself. Study yourself, and you can see in W3 School also have a lot of comparison between get and post method. Let's say I just type it like this. Oh, sorry. Post versus get methods. In PHP, you can see there's a lot more information. Okay, the post method transfer information via HTML header, of course. The information is encoded as described in the case of get method and put in the header called query string. The post method can be used to send as ASCII as well as binary data. Okay, this look not very friendly. The keyword is not very good. Okay, let's see W3 School. W3 School. Right, if you go for, okay, this is better. Right, you can see there's a lot more than get and post, a lot. But we only focus on two things. What is get method? What is post method? Right, you see, this is the URL will appear like what I just demo to you. In Google, you can see what kind of keyword that you already type. But if you use post method, they will hide your information. Okay, so although you put the value, but in terms of the URL or browser, they will hide your information. So if you search in internet, what is the difference between get and post method? It's only about security, and you see get is used to request data from specific resources. Post is used to send data to the server to create update resources. Get is one of the most common, of course. Post also is a common. But the interesting about get and post is security. And then the get is something that request data from a specific resources like JSON. You know, you have information from the other server. But normally for post, you are dealing with internal server, your own server. But actually, get also can deal with the same thing. But get is much more outreach. Okay, they can get information from different sources. All right, let's go to our lecture notes. You can see the difference of get methods and post method. Okay, this is the way how to write get methods. Okay, this is the things that I mentioned to you about get method. You can see Anita and Gmail, something like that. You deal with that, right? So this is the post variables. Okay, in PHP, the predefined underscore post is used to collect value in the form of method post. Information sent from a form with a post method is invisible, okay, much more secure to others, and has no limits on the amount of information to be sent. Right. When to use post? The answer is because variables are not displayed in the URL, it's not possible to bookmark the page. So that's the issues now. Okay. But if you're looking into more get variables, okay, this is get variables. In PHP, the predefined get variable is used to collect value in a form with method get. Information sent from a form with a get method is visible to everyone. Okay. Then when to use get method? Okay, when using get method, all variable names and value are displayed in the URL. This method should not be used when sending password or sensitive information. However, because the variable are displayed in the URL, it is possible to bookmark that page. You know what? In browser, they have a features called bookmark. The bookmark things really need something to be read on the URL. Okay, that's the reason why get is much more easier to bookmark. Okay, so these are complement each other. Right. So the next one, the next slide show you the request example of source code. When using a request variable, you are dealing with something like isSet. Okay, isSet is very important for you to understand. If isSet request submit, echo welcome request, and you have UR request. This refer to the variables of age, variables of the name, and you get the information very clear. Isset is a logic variables to show whether your variable is fulfilled or not. You need isset, okay, to deal with. Okay, let's say we have this another input and condition. So in this example, we create a form, enter your name, and you can choose your favorite color. Okay, next, what you can see is something condition, form method we are using, action, this is method of post. The information will go to handle 02.php, and then this is the form. Okay, this is the output. Next, you can see the input here. Okay, change the background color. Okay, this is handler.php. Okay, inside the handler.php that you put inside this particular handler 02.php. Okay, the source code of handler.02.php is like this. Okay, and then you accept the coding from the form, and then they will give you detail what is the variable all about. Okay, one by one. Okay, star heading, and then you get a username of the variables, okay, and then color type post, you have a color, right, and then you deal with the what we call a background of switch statements, okay. Then we have something like this: enter your name, what is your favorite color, and submit. So this is the form. And then when you're dealing with a handler, you will just check the variables that you send through HTML form, and they will process through handler02.php. Okay, that's the things that I want you to go through. If you're looking into example code already given to you through lecture notes, you can refer to times table full.php. You can see how HTML form and PHP has been applied. Okay, that's all for our lecture today. Thank you so much.